Hi, welcome back to the show. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for more episodes of Right on the Money. And that is where we discuss financial topics with advisors and fiduciaries right there in your area. Now, our guest today, Joe Petrillo, founder and CEO of Armis Financial. Joe, I'm going to throw your contact information up because, folks, if you've, it should be right on the screen right now. And if you've been listening to anything Joe's saying, you have got to be thinking, man, I want to talk to this guy. So pick up the phone, email. You're an easy guy to get a hold of.
Yeah, we have a phone number. We have an email. So you could definitely reach out. And don't ever feel intimidated because we don't have any requirements to just to have a quick phone call to see if it makes sense to move forward.
Our topic for this segment, I want to dive into growth and distribution. Let's finish the plan, and let's talk. So your philosophy, looking macro, bringing it in. Let's talk about investment philosophy and how do you align that with the plan?
Okay. Well, remember there are three rates of return that my clients, my families, and my business owners need to capitalize on. Okay. There's internal, there's external, and there's eternal. So when I say internal rate of return, that's linear growth. Okay. 9 out of 10 financial planners, that's all they talk about. Most people, when they put their money into something, it's chasing that rate of return. And believe it or not, most people don't even have a clue what they're really making. Okay. But anyway, so we still do internal rate of return. It's still important. How we invest money, let's face it, there's really only two investments that are out there. There's a stock and a bond. You're either buying ownership of something or you're buying someone's debt. Okay. Now, Wall Street came out with all these crazy programs to give you an opportunity to really take less risk and still invest more professionally. Some of them are really, really great. So there's really three strategies for investing. Number one is growth. Number one is fixed income, and number three is total return. So what is growth? When we invest into growth, we are looking for the sectors of the market, okay, that are performing better than the market based on relative strength. Okay, now that doesn't mean, okay, whatever sector is up over the last 30 days, we're going to buy it. It's a lot more detailed than that. Sure. So someone's like, well, Joe, what are those sectors today? Well, without question, we are in the industrial sector. We are in the semiconductors, anything that has to do with artificial intelligence, supercomputers. We're in the financials, and we're in the communications. That's it. Those are the only stocks that we feel, the sectors of the market, that have the strongest relative strength. So when we talk about growth, very little dividend or interest, we're strictly looking at appreciation.
Could you explain money velocity to somebody who's a non-finance person?
Sure. When I think of velocity, the first word that comes to mind, if I'm not talking about finance, would be speed, right? I mean, I played baseball in college a long time ago. Okay, now I know I'm built more like a football player now, but it's velocity. Now they're measuring velocity off when people hit the baseball. But so something that has velocity, would you mean has to be in motion? It has to be moving fast. So that's really only created by an external rate of return by using our money as collateral to get control of someone else's money. So did you ever play pinball as a kid?
Absolutely.
So imagine every time that that little pinball hits one of the bumpers, you're getting paid. Okay. Or another example I could give of velocity would be non-financial. Well, it is a little financial. Would you agree? Most people have a bank account.
I would hope so, yeah.
Now, Dennis, do you really have any idea how a bank makes money? They make billions of dollars a year. They don't really sell anything. How do they do it?
Loaning it out, right?
Loaning it out. So perfect example of velocity. I go down to the local bank. I deposit $100,000. They give me this beautiful 0.25% interest and a free toaster oven as a sign-on bonus, right? Yep. Now, am I really depositing money there or am I lending it to them?
I think you're lending it to them, right?
Doesn't stay there. Doesn't have to. Okay. You, Dennis, your wife needs a new SUV. Okay. You don't have $100,000. You go down to that same bank. You take a car loan. So the money I just lent to them to get me a beautiful 0.25, they lend it back out to you and charge you 8. Now, most people get the delta or the arbitrage there, but unfortunately, it doesn't end there. Okay. Mr. Jones over here sells you the car. Okay. You give him your money from the loan. He takes that $100,000, goes out to that same bank and now opens up a CD and he locks up his money for 2 years and gets 2%. Your sister wants to redo the kitchen. Doesn't have $100,000. That same 100,000 that Mr. Jones just deposited, they lend it back out to your sister as a home equity loan of credit, a home equity line of credit or a home equity loan, and they charge her 9%. So you see how banks don't sell anything and they're constantly getting turns on money. We show people how to do that, obviously legally, okay? And this has nothing to do with investing. We're gonna get back to my high-level investment strategy in a minute. This is strictly has to do with banking, understanding how to buy things the right way and using other people's money to get ahead.
I like the sound of that. Well, let's go back to more on your investment philosophy.
So before we get into velocity, we got to make sure we grow our clients' money. So I talked about the most aggressive approach would be growth, okay? The most conservative approach would be fixed income. So our goal with fixed income, if clients are like, you know what, Joe, we don't want to see any volatility. I know our bank is paying us 3. Is there anything out there that has very, very little risk to principal we could do much better? So our goal for our clients is to do about 100% better than what the bank is paying, okay, while taking very, very minimal risk with their principal. And we can do that.
So how do you match someone to your investment philosophy?
We got to ask questions, right? Like someone that is buys all individual stocks, that is younger, that is really looking to grow, that doesn't care about income. I'm not going to really waste time on fixed income. But right now, with interest rates where they are, it's probably been the first time since 2008 or 2009 where the interest rate environment is actually pretty stable, in my opinion. I know people keep wanting interest rates to go lower, lower, and lower. It's been pretty good right now. So there are some pretty conservative asset classes like senior loan, floating rate, very little risk to principal that are paying 7 or 8% monthly. If you want to get a little bit more aggressive, we could do high yield, right? We're going to get into options in a minute where some high yield funds are yielding over 10%. Okay, now that's not guaranteed forever, but it's much better than the 3% your bank's paying.
You mentioned options. Tell us a little more about that.
So then the last strategy is total return. Joe, what do you mean? Well, this is more of like a hybrid. Could we still get some growth and maximize income? Why do investors like owning real estate? Now, real estate does have a lot of velocity, right? You get the appreciation, the tax benefit, but you also could get appreciation on your house and rental income, right? So you see how that same asset is giving you 4 turns on money, okay? What we do for internal rate of return from total return is we want to still have some growth, but then also maximize income, okay? So we aren't experts on options. There are a lot of option strategies we use. Some are very, very aggressive. Some are very, very conservative. We tend to specialize in the most conservative option strategies because the most conservative option strategies right now are paying our clients a boatload of income. Why is that? Because interest rates are higher and there's volatility. Well, I want my clients to be the landlord. So we're going to, rather than just own, for example, the S&P 500, we either live or die based on if it goes up or down. And I think the dividend rate, don't quote me on this, was way less than 2%. Well, what if there was a way we could still get about 60% of the upside of the S&P 500 and bring in 13% income from call option premium a year? Is that a better strategy? It's a more conservative strategy, and there's definitely more, we just have an idea of what something is going to look like because we can predict over the course of a year the approximate income coming in. We just can't predict if something's going to go up or down.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so that's the growth side of the equation. And I know that
that was total return.
Oh, total return. Total
yes.
return.
But this is still part of all internal rate of return. Internal rate of return is based on growth, fixed income, and total return. Now, I do have some clients that do like speculation. So one of the things I follow, we just were joking about AI. AI's saved our firm a lot of money because there's so many more sites now that we have access to, obviously compliance approved, that we're able to gather as much information as we can.
And distill it down. So
one of the things we do is, I don't do a lot of this, but I do probably have about maybe 50 clients that we do put, if they qualify, our corporate insider strategy, where we follow all buying and selling of corporate insiders. Now, please don't get this confused with inside information. That's illegal, okay? But anytime a politician or an insider, okay, buys a company, they have to make that public information. Everybody complains so much about Nancy Pelosi. Well, if these people really wanted to, you could actually follow her if you want to. Whatever trade she does, you could. That doesn't mean I'm not saying I'm a fan or not a fan of her, but I'm just giving you an idea is where you can follow that politician if you want to. So what I do is I run scans. Okay, I want to know all insider buying and selling over maybe the last 3 months from the following sectors. Okay, I make sure that they all have the right market cap. I get a list of these insiders. Then I find out, okay, well, is this insider a winner or has he been an underperformer or a schleprock? Okay, so I want to only invest in the winners.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll see an insider that keeps buying his shares of stock, but barely ever makes any money. If I find the CFO who just bought his company shares has never been wrong and has made on average of 150% in 12 months, the last few times he bought his company stock, nothing is guaranteed, but that's a risk I'm willing to take, and that's a risk I'm willing to at least educate my clients so they could decide if they want to invest in that as well.
That's interesting. And let's talk about distribution, because
Great.
at some point we need to start doing that. And I know one thing you talk about is de-risking retirement. How do you do that?
Well, and I think this is probably one of the most powerful things that we do is we really focus on distribution, how to turn someone's assets and accounts and create a maximum lifestyle. And I hate to break to people, it's not just having a 401k. I mean, I don't know one person that just has a 401k that is retiring comfortably. For wealthy people, it's like getting up in the middle of the night, going to the bathroom, putting money in a 401k. There's no excitement, okay? So, but most of the people that I run into, they are so overweighted in their 401k. And what happens is they are a tremendous risk when they retire, because who makes up the rules of the 401k? Us or the government?
That's the government.
Who makes up the tax rules? Us or the government?
That's the government.
Who decides where you can invest your money? Us or what's in the plan?
The plan.
I mean, to me, that is it's financial insecurity at its fullest. So we try to show you to do it. And I'm getting on a little off on a tangent here. But when we talk about distribution, we got to be proactive today in making sure our clients put their money in the right places today before it's too late.
Yeah.
You don't want to pick up the warrior who is already dead on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Okay. We got to give people the right tools today. So no matter what happens in the future, we will be reactive because we were proactive today. So I'll give you a quick analogy I like to use with my clients. I'm not a baker or a cook, but I do have a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
So if you sold me vanilla by itself, no good. If you sold me raw eggs by themselves, no good, unless you were Rocky Balboa in the 70s drinking raw eggs. If you sell me flour by itself, it's no good. If you sell me sugar by itself, it's no good. But when you have the right combination of those four, you get a tasty cake. That's right. I take that same approach to people's finances. There's nothing wrong with a 401k, but having too much in a 401k is very dangerous, because what happens if the tax rates are substantially higher?
Yep.
You can't have all your money in life insurance either. Okay, yes, a lot of clients love the tax-free access and the collateralization, but early on, the rate of return is very low. You can't have all your money in the stock market either. What happens if you need money and you happen to pull it out at the wrong time? And you can't have all your money in real estate either because of liquidity. Okay, you don't want to have to sell something because you have to. But if you have the right combination of those four ingredients or assets, when by the time you retire, I'm going to show you to get the max amount of wealth and income. I'm going to make sure you never run out of money. I'm also going to make sure you pay very little tax, take very little risk, and our job is to make sure that your money stays in your family's bloodline.
What are the main levers that you set up today to make that distribution smoother tomorrow? I think we hit some of them, but did we miss any?
Okay, well, first I got to make sure everything is protected, right? Because what good is it creating this castle, okay, if the crocodiles can get in?
Yeah.
Okay, number two, our clients should be saving 20% of their gross income. Number three, we got to show our clients how to take advantage of using good debt to build wealth. Not bad debt, good debt. Good debt is anything you collateralize at a very low rate where your money is either principal protected, compounding, tax advantaged, and also where you could borrow a large percentage from it.
Yeah.
Then once those three things are in order, then we're going to focus on macroeconomics. And there's just 4 principles. Number 1, we got to show our clients how to get velocity.
Yeah.
Number 2, we got to make sure that our clients recapture opportunity costs. Okay, do you know what's your definition of a lost opportunity, Dennis? So if someone would ask you.
When I'm presented with something and I just miss my chance, either through my own not.
There is always, and this is also probably the second most important thing we teach our clients outside of distribution, is showing our clients how to recapture a lost opportunity cost. Why that is the hardest for people to grasp? Because it's hidden. It's a shadow cost. Okay? The definition of a lost opportunity cost is when you make one alternative or one choice with your money where another alternative could have weighed out far better for you.
Yeah.
Okay? So we got to calculate that, and showing people how to recapture opportunity costs by using money the right way is huge. And the third thing is, in order for us to feel comfortable putting our clients' money into something, it's got to pass our LLC. It's got to be liquid. You got to be able to borrow from it with leverage, conservative leverage, and our clients have to be in control at all times. I'm not big on locking up money and saying, hey, well, maybe this quarter we can get our money out, but I can't guarantee that. I just have never had success, so I kind of stay away from those things. And then the last thing we do is making sure our clients maximize the 3 rates of return. Earning a high internal rate of return, linear growth, teaching people how to take advantage of external rates of return, which is exponential growth, using velocity, other people's money. And then the third thing is eternal. Now, when someone says, Joe, what is eternal? Well, when you hear the word eternal, Dennis, what comes to mind?
Forever.
Into perpetuity. We got to make sure that our clients never run out of money, okay, and making sure their money stays in their family's bloodline, and making sure if they leave money behind to whomever, that it goes to what their wishes are. And we're also going to make sure that their money's in the Vatican or the Pope Mobile, so no matter what financial risk gets thrown at them, will be taken care of.
Joe, we're going to wrap. It has been a pleasure having you on here. And before we go, though, I can't imagine someone not wanting to get in touch with you. Thank you again for being on here. It has been a pleasure. And for everybody else, don't forget that you can watch full Right on the Money Show episodes on our official YouTube channel or at rightonthemoneyshow.com. That is the spot where you can get up-to-date financial news and insights from the top insurance and financial professionals in your area. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.